See, for Miss Ritchie, it was incredible because I never thought that I could be anything great. Because she told me, Mark, you're going to grow up, you're going to be significant, you're going to be important, you're going to be somebody of purpose. And see, when we begin to understand that and how we interact with children, we begin to build the relationships, and we begin to understand that we can build a sense of community. We can reconnect with why we became educators. And that is the greatest thing. When we reconnect with this, we begin to become excited again. Because how many of you guys remember when you first started? By a show of hands. Absolutely. You guys were excited. You couldn't wait. You were excited. You couldn't wait. You got your lessons planned together. You got your room together. You were bouncing around like Tigger from Winnie the Pooh. And you guys were bouncing around. You were excited about it. And you couldn't wait. You're like, oh my God, I can't wait. It's so excited. The kids are coming. And you were just one of those sunshine people, right? And you couldn't wait for the kids to come. Kids were coming in. How you doing? Good. Oh, how are you? How are you, young man? Tie your shoe. All the stuff, right? And you were excited. And so the first few days, it was great. You loved it. And then a couple weeks go by, and a couple years go by, and 2 years turns into 5. And then all of a sudden, you wake up in the morning, and you're like, oh, God, going to make the donuts. You know, and then some of you guys, and no, I don't know if you have been one of those guys. Maybe it was Angela, okay? Angela, have you ever thought about quitting at least once? Okay, she just, foot in my mouth. Angela said, no, I just started today. No, I'm just joking. Who in here has thought about quitting at least once? Okay, right here, what is your name? Carrie? Okay, Carrie, pressures of the job, just thought about quitting, right? So can I do a scenario maybe about how you were thinking at that particular time? Carrie, I'm going to be Carrie for a minute, all right? So Carrie decides, she says, you know what? I am tired of these kids. I'm tired of all these kids. You know, I'm done. It's over. And Carrie decides she's going to quit. She's going to turn in her resignation. She's going to go to her superintendent, to her principal, and Carrie, you're out of the game. You're done. It's over. And Carrie, she writes her letter, Tony. She writes her letter, Laura. And all of a sudden, she has the letter written, and she's about to turn it in. And then all of a sudden, she realizes something very important. She realizes that she has a mortgage, so she can't quit. So all of a sudden, she has this mortgage, and she's like, I've got to stay in the game. But then all of a sudden, she remembers why she became a teacher, why she became an educator. And the love and the compassion of that connection, of connecting back with what we do, becomes relevant in our lives again. So the thing about it is, when we look at this, we understand that we're facing a lot of different things. So we look at what are some problems teachers are facing. Well, first of all, a lot of teachers have not established what their purpose is. So the issues of purpose, feeling important, poverty. How many kids do we face that come to school that haven't even eaten the night before? Or maybe haven't even went to bed the night before? Or maybe have just suffered so much poverty that we want to reach out and we want to help, but we can't. What about the pedagogical trained teacher? Now we're dealing with kids of color, kids of different cultures, and we're trying to figure out, how do we do this thing? How do we do this to effectively communicate with these kids? So now it's a cultural thing. Then we look at safety, respect, burnout, standardized testing, and the list goes on and on.